last nicest people in Nigeria. Very soon, protests that has no definition will engulf the political class. People who have never known peace before, and people who have never given peace or prosperity will show you what they call shege. The same shege that Tinubu is showing Nigeria now. They will soon get it. Go and write today's down, and today's date down. I told Nigerians when Tinubu came to power that he's going to be the one who will cause the revolution in Nigeria. And Tinubu is on course in ensuring that we have a revolution. And that revolution will sweep, just not Tinubu alone, will sweep all the owners of Nigeria away. Just say you heard it from me. Revolution now! Revolution now! Revolution now! Aluta! Another jamboree.
But if they are asking for a dialogue, do you think dialogue is one of the best ways to solve the situation we are in?
Go ask the NFC what happens in dialogues with federal government. Another jamboree.
But if they are asking for a dialogue, do you think dialogue is one of the best ways to solve the situation we are in?
Go ask the NFC what happens in dialogues with federal government. Another jamboree.
But if they are asking for a dialogue, do you think dialogue is one of the best ways to solve the situation we are in?
Go ask the NFC what happens in dialogues with federal government. Another jamboree.
But if they are asking for a dialogue, do you think dialogue is one of the best ways to solve the situation we are in?
Go ask the NFC what happens in dialogues with federal government. Another jamboree.
But if they are asking for a dialogue, do you think dialogue is one of the best ways to solve the situation we are in?
Go ask.
The next conversation happens every evening. Here we dissect topical conversations that has been making the round all day. And yeah, we're here to do justice to yet another round of conversation. But let's get you started with the hot topics very quickly. I'm sure you would have heard already that police fired tear gas at protesters in Abuja, and then police said, no, we not attack protesters. So, okay. No, we not attack protesters. So, okay. And then I go to Ondo State, where Ondo youth storm Akure streets, demand change in economy. But in Akwa Ibom State, where they were giving about 300 million naira recently for not protesting, they did not also come out to protest again, as normal activities in Akwa Ibom State were seen as youth shun protest in Akwa Ibom State. Meanwhile, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, says that Nigeria's world, that as Nigeria turns 64, or at 64 years old, Nigeria is world's most corrupt, insecure country under this particular administration. We'll let you into that conversation. But let's go to other cases. Terrorist leader Turji Bello gives conditions for peace in Zamfara State. And you'll be wondering, gives condition. Okay. Bribe. Police inspector reportedly stabs man to death because of 200 naira bribe. And then, okay. El Rufai says, I'm ready to swear with Quran that I didn't steal Kaduna funds. That's what he says. And from the foreign scene, Iran planning missile attack against Israel. This is according to the United States. Because these are the hot topics that we have. But
streets.
We go to bed empty hunger.
To the blaring horns of a hustling city. The loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lodge.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries. Voice of the People 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television. VOP TV, full of vigor and pressure for excellence in the continent's media space. Exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents.
Corruption kills three things and makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and give.
You have a voice. You have a voice.
Alright, Lagos, you're welcome back. This is 90.3 Voice of the People FM, and it's still the evening rush. Forgive me, I lost my voice a little bit. That's because I was in the streets of Lagos with my crew to ensure that we report the protest. And I don't know who sent me a message though, but Dr. Deji is with me in the house. It's an amazing Tuesday evening, by the way, and Dr. Deji Marshalla is with me in the house. In case you don't know, he is a doctor of political science, so you can call him a political scientist. Dr. Deji, thank you so much for being here.
Well, thanks for having me.
How are you doing? How are you celebrating today's independence? The normal what? Fine, thank you.
The normal fine, thank you. That's the customary.
That light's on the end for tunnel now. Eh?
Which tunnel?
The light of fine, thank you. Don't the quench.
We not see light. We not see tunnel. If you are referring to,
they don't block the tunnel itself.
President's speech, or is it that the tunnel long? You know, when the tunnel is long and it has a lot of curves, definitely you won't easily see the light.
But since you mentioned the president's speech, I like it.
Now we don't know how long the tunnel is, but for me, I'm not seeing any light, sincerely. So maybe the tunnel is not a straight one, maybe it's not a short one like the normal should I say funnel now? You know, so I think maybe it's a curved one and perhaps a very long one. Maybe that's why I'm not seeing the light. Maybe you have seen the light. You know, as a Christian, maybe
I have seen the light, the light of God.
The light of God, not that.
That is the only light I have seen so far.
Well, maybe our listeners have seen the light.
All right, so Dr. DJ, I really would love your reaction to the president's speech because you mentioned it yourself.
Well, the president's speech, the president spoke for about 25 minutes.
You calculate them?
Yes, speaking for about.
You could and count them.
Of course, speaking for about 25 minutes. It actually. What I can call unusual on a day like this. The handlers of the president, perhaps we are seeing the effect of the exit of Ngelale in the speech.
So you think Ngelale was helping manage the image of the president better? Of
course, he's an image maker of the president.
So he did a better job. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I won't score Ngelale. I won't give him a pass mark and I won't fail him because Ngelale is not, I can't call him a veteran. I can't call him a renowned journalist. I think I will call him a favored journalist that is favored. And when you are an image maker for a president, you would agree with me that experience counts largely. Okay. So for me, Ngelale tried his best, but the speech of the president, what I noticed is he spoke about quite a number of things, which I believe the speech for me isn't quite inspiring. I think the president talked about some certain things that if he has been speaking to the press before now, if he has been kind of like communicating with the people, he wouldn't really need to touch on them because he used the first part of the speech to speak about Nigeria's history, unity, which can really be questioned. Then he now went into speaking about the performance of his administration. On an independent day, it's more of a celebratory mood. It's not a day for you to reel out the performance of the administration. So that shows that perhaps the president is also worried about public perspective about his administration. But then I think when the words are coming out from the mouth of a president, it should be an additional speech. It should be it should be something that you've either heard before, or you've either heard either through the news, either through gossip, or whatever means. But the president made some assertions that I found very, very difficult to comprehend, and one of that is he spoke about $30 billion foreign direct investment. And I wonder that, okay, if you are bringing if somebody brought $30 billion foreign direct investment into a impoverished economy like Nigeria, definitely you will feel it. How we feel it? $30 billion it's a lot of money. That notwithstanding, that in my mind, except if my knowledge is failing me, which I believe it's not, except if my teachers are wrong, except if the Nigerian indices for foreign direct investment that attract foreign direct investment is different from that across the world, or for some African countries, which I know. Because if you look at it, apart from you saying that $30 billion, and we've not heard anything about it, and as should I say, as I follow the news, I'm just kind of hearing that. So you
so you're saying that it looks more like an audio deal to Nigerians, because if it was practical and real, Nigerians would have felt its impact. Is that what you're saying?
For instance, if you inject $30 billion into an economy and the unemployment rate is increasing, you wonder that if you put $30 billion into an economy, for instance, when MTN came, we all felt the impact in terms of job production. You are seeing the impact of the firm. So the president should have avoided what I can call a slippery statement in terms of which sector was this 30 billion was it invested, which sector. So if you cannot just say 30 billion had come into the economy, which sector, because I have not seen the impact of the 30 billion. Another thing is that the indices of Nigeria itself doesn't kind of like speaks fact to the statement of the president, because foreign direct investors are businessmen. They are either seeking to launch themselves as a monopoly into a developing economy, the areas uncovered, or they are seeking to enter into a perfect competitive market and dominate the market. Under such circumstance, whichever one it is, you see that they look at some indices before coming into a country. Number one is your level of security. Precious, if you have 30 billion,
like in my news today, that Toji Bello is saying that he's giving condition, for instance, for us to have peace.
Exactly. For instance, if you have 30 billion naira, which I'm not sure you don't have,
which you're not sure I have, okay, just say it.
More of maybe than maybe not, you know. So the thing is, if you have $30 billion, let's be sincere with ourselves. If you convert it into naira, that's trillions of naira. I'm sure that because you are not a Father Christmas, you are not giving aid. You are a private investor. Foreign direct investment, the name speaks for itself. Foreign, coming directly into your country. So if that money is coming into your country, because it's an investment, it has to turn into naira. So if trillions of naira enter this economy and nobody is feeling it, then you have to question the statement of the president. Then will you have 30 billion naira, or your group, let's say Precious Group, like a league of, I'm not among now, but hopefully I'll be among when the Precious Group comes up. Now, the thing is, if you are bringing 30 billion, you look at the security of Nigeria itself. You look at the west, you look at the south, you look at the north, you look at the east. And I can tell you for a fact, as a Nigerian, even if you seek my advice for consultancy as a Nigerian, I would, if I'm to live up to expectation, I will not say, oh, for instance, if you seek my advice and say, okay, did you have $30 billion? And
so, Dr. Deji, there's no time. We've already eaten 20 minutes. Bottom line, your statement, what you're saying is what you're saying that the 30 billion does not look like it exists in Nigeria. No, say it well now. Say what is in your mind.
It doesn't reflect. I've said it now.
Okay.
Two, the judiciary. If there's a conflict between you and Nigerian government, there exists a judiciary whereby you are not sure that the judges won't be arm twisted. So if there is a dispute, you want to bring $30 billion into an economy whereby an Amosun, if he happens to be president, he will just wake up and say, oh, go and arrest them, go and imprison them. Then maybe they liaise with the judge and they give one interlocutory or maybe one ex parte or, name it whatever. And your 30 billion will be going down the drain for purpose of education. 3, I'm racing because...
So that means that this foreign direct investors would also look at our judicial system.
Yes, I'm racing
and
because
its effectiveness.
I'm racing because there's no time.
There is no time, sir.
3,
make we forget it. Make we leave him. But I'd like to take a reaction.
Repatriation of funds.
Don't remind me what the airlines are going through.
You want to bring $30 billion into an economy that you cannot easily take your profit out. For instance, the way the president spoke, $30 billion, the president, although he didn't give details, he spoke as if the money just came in. So that means that it is from, like, let's say, new companies. If you are an existing company, for instance, Emirates Airline, that you already have infrastructures in Nigeria. For instance, if you rent an apartment and you have problem with the landlord, there are some compromise that you will want to make, that if you are just wanting to rent that house, you will naturally not make such a compromise. So if foreign direct investment is coming and it is from a new company that hasn't made any investment, then it is not realistic. 1. 2, if it is an already existing company with the situation of things in the country, that's what investors look at.
All right, Dr. Deji, let's quickly fly. But I wanted to also quickly pick your mind, on the different places where protests took place. I told you that Akwa Ibom youth shunned protest. The last time they did, during the End Bad Governance protest in August, the president dashed them over 300 million naira to appreciate them for not protest. Sorry, their governor dashed them over 300 million naira to appreciate the youth for not protesting.
So
today again,
governor or Akpabio?
Their governor.
True Akpabio.
Their governor. No, their governor. Now again, they did not protest.
Is it his personal money or
we heard that he gave them, appreciated them for not protesting, and then now again, I'm coming now. Don't be vexed. So now again, they did not protest, but on those states youths were out on the street protesting. Abuja youths went out to protest, and there was a misunderstanding. They were tear gassed, but the police is saying that they did not tear gas them, that there was some hoodlums, all those issues. I wanted to quickly pick your mind on that before we move to our major stories. So the police, for the purpose of specificity, let me quickly react and read the reaction of the police. So the Federal Capital Territory Police Command has denied attacking the October 1 protesters in Abuja. In fact, they released a statement today by the Public Relations Officer, FCT Police Command, SP Josephine Ade, today Tuesday. Ade said the operatives only took proactive measures to prevent looting, that they just act so that people no go loot, adding that it was necessary to address the allegation following reports making the rounds that policemen attacked protesters in Abuja, that they just took necessary steps to prevent looting. Just very quickly, if you can brush on that. Why do we have this? Yes, why do we have this disparity? Some people are protesting, some are not. Even whilst I monitor the protest today in Lagos, you know what? It was like people who are protesting were enjoying life. And then the people who were in their houses and standing by the streets watching were waving at them, like, when you see foreign people, just wave them, hello, how are you? That's how they were waving. In my head, I was like, okay, are people really not that hungry? Because if people were hungry, should they not come out and join those who are protesting? I don't know why it is that way, but maybe people are really not hungry, because there were even people who are saying that why people protesting, you just want to tarnish that the image of this administration. People are not hungry, people are just doing too much. It is not only nice. So that means perhaps not all Nigerians think that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's policies are affecting Nigerians. Maybe. I really like you to touch on that quickly.
Okay, 3 things quickly. First, no matter how bad a government is, any government in power usually have its own supporters, no matter how bad. Look at regimes all over the world, no matter how bad. It now depends on the ratio of people that are supporting such a government. But because of the goodies that comes with government and you associating with a government, definitely every government will have its own supporters. That's one. Two, the issue of the protest. You see, the organizers of the protest, I think they need a bit of refresher course on how to organize a protest, in the sense that, first, you know the kind of government you are dealing with. So if NSAS protest, which was very organic, that largely sprung up on its own based on police brutality, if NSAS protest detainees are still languishing in prison or in DSS or police custody, if those NSAS, if those people that participated in NSAS, some of them died miserably and are yet to get justice, and you said end bad governance protest, people should come out and protest. People came out en masse August 1 to 10. Till now, this is October 1st. People are still being detained. That questions your ability to organize a protest, because there's pre-plan, there is procession during the protest, and there's a post-plan. So I think if the organizers of the protest, I think if they are Nigerian like you and I, they would have foreseen that some form of arrest will happen. For instance, somebody like Showore that has been participating in protests since his days in Unilag. Definitely, even if it is to set up a GoFundMe account, even if it will be Nigerians in diaspora that would largely contribute into such a fund, to make sure that you have standby funds, that if they take the people to court and they say, oh, we give them so million naira, like some of these end bad government protests, that people that are hungry were given 10 million naira bill, you should be ready that there is fund, that there are ways that those people will not stay long or languish in detention. Till now, some of them are still in detention. So if police arrest people and they are charged to court, and immediately you are able to secure their release, that will inspire people that, oh, if I go out to protest, definitely my release will be spontaneous. That is one. Two, I don't like the idea of the protest revolving around one man, because it will give it a kind of meaning that it's not supposed to give. For instance, I heard you playing a video where Shore was saying revolution now. For instance, I think a protest is necessary. With what is going on in government, in the presidency, the Senate, I think a protest is apt, that the Senate has failed to bring up the necessary checks and balance that is needed. And I believe that it is the people that can now take the bull by the horn and say, okay, we want to checks and balance you. And one of such ways is through protest. But if you now say revolution, for instance, I don't want a revolution. I read about the Biafra war. It's easy to call for a revolution. If you want to, if you are calling for a revolution, there will definitely be casualties. That's the truth about revolution. But I want a protest, so I don't want a revolution. So it would have resonated with somebody like me if you say, oh, end hunger now, rather than say revolution now.
Okay.
So for me, the planning of the protest, the image of the protest itself, it's not, I don't think it is well planned, because they definitely, if anything happens to you, you know that you are on your own. And it being revolved around one man, I think that's why some people would rather sit down in their homes and be waving. Not that they are not hungry, but if they come out and protest and anything happens, what is the guarantee that they will
Okay,
be
so you
released?
think that this protest is just centered around Showore, for instance, and that's why some people stayed back in their homes?
Well, for me, I believe it is largely centered around him. I think he himself should have taken a bit of backseat, should have given or that what I can call new face. If new face,
But he wasn't the only one I saw today. In fact, as a matter of fact, what I noticed today was that the protest was even factionalized. There was his faction that went to Ojota in the morning. There was another faction that came later, mid-morning, and they stayed till almost 4 p.m. before they left. So it wasn't just about him.
but it's the known guy. For instance,
that may be to you though,
for instance,
because those organizing it will tell you he's not the one organizing it. They'll tell you that it's a body of youth who came together to do so.
If you play me the video now, Showore is the one that I can easily identify. 1, 2.
Let me quickly play another soundbite where he's not there.
Most of the people in that protest, right? Some of them you could see, like, I don't like when the protest is customized. I saw these orange beret.
Okay, that's his revolution now.
I don't like. I don't like when it is customized, because the truth is, I think, for example, first, I think Nigeria needs people like Showore. If we have 20 Showore, 20 this guy VDM, very dark man, I think our society would be better.
So you think VDM is doing a good job?
Of course, he's doing a very fantastic job.
Oh, wow.
Although I think he needs some kind of like more education, orientation, some kind of like
let's forget about that. It's a debate for another day, but let's just go ahead.
But the thing is, if Showore had not dabbled into politics, it would have given like his name in terms of protest something
more credibility. But like he responded when he was in a studio station yesterday.
Yeah,
he said Mandela dabbled into politics. Did that in any way impede on his credibility or dent his credibility? Did it? So
well, the thing is, the peculiarity of Nigerian politics is different.
Okay,
I think it's I can just stop there.
Okay, I like you to stop there. So let's quickly take another reaction from like Nigerians today as they were out on the street to protest. Take a listen.
The nation, they tread down here. What we are saying is that we are 64 in a 20-year-old body. We are 64 in 20-year-old body. Therefore, we are not moving as much as we are supposed to move. Some people said, when the government want to say, they said government, Nigerians are progressing. Nigerians are progressing. What are we progressing? We see have pothole in Nigeria, in Lagos.
We are not rushing. This is our country.
Both in the oil sector and whatever sector they may be, our own independence starts now. Because the independence we got in 1960, they struggled for it. We are struggling for a new independence. And it is part of the continuation of what we started in 2019 with Revolution Now. Because we believe that only revolution can save this country. Revolution now!
Revolution! Been arrested, and
work is in progress, and part of what we're asking them is to release them today. Everybody has been detained, whether it's in Kaduna, in Abuja, or Katsina, or Kano. The federal government is ordered to release them today. If by the end of the day today they don't release all the detained, end bad governance, and end SARS people, some of end SARS in 2020, we will tell you the next line of action. Thank you.
What's your take on this turnout?
Huh?
Your take on the turnout?
Protest. We must end bad government. You don't know.
As much as we are supposed to move. Some people said, when the government want to say, they said government, Nigerians are progressing. Nigerians are progressing. What are we progressing? We still have pothole in Nigeria, in Lagos, mega city. We still have community in a giant country who is producing and managing 4 hours electricity per day. How can you talk about progress in that area? Whenever they make policy that will line their pocket, they will say Nigeria is progressing. But for some of us that know what the masses are going through, we know we are not progressing. We are not moving at all. And that comes to say what the Bible talk about in Proverbs 29 verse 2. When the wicked rule, the people more. They might be celebrating in Abuja because they have everything free at our expense. But Nigerian people are not celebrating. They have money. And that shows, according to the Bible definition, the wicked are in power. And we know the only thing that they can understand is just for us to come out there and tell Nigerian people, we are not rejoicing, we are crying, we are shouting. Hunger pervaded the land. People no longer eat good food. People eat what they see, not what they want to eat. Because somebody somewhere claim Nigeria is poor. Nigeria does not have money. In the poorest of Nigeria, that person buy private jet of $2.5 billion. In the poorest of Nigeria, that person buy a car worth 950 billion naira for his own use. In the poorest of Nigeria, that same person, the president of this country, he earmarked 1.5 billion for his wife to buy another car. In the poorest of Nigeria, how poor Nigeria can be for one senator, for one house of rep to be driving a car worth 160 million naira. That is not a poor nation. It is the power, it is the leader that impoverished Nigeria. And we are saying, we said no to such moving forward. The nation, they track down here. What we are saying is that we are
hardship in the country. Dr. DG, you were almost reacting to what the first person said when he mentioned billions, about 2-point-something billion naira for the privates, for the presidential jet and all that. Those figures are not correct, but you can imagine the interpretation of an ordinary man.
What he's trying to say is the amount is
it's too big.
You know, it is an irrational spending. I think that's the context of his message, and his message is well passed. And I absolutely agree with him, and despite the fact that the figures that he called were wrong, but I understand the angle that he's coming from, and I quite agree with him. And the second video that you played, sincerely, I thank God for my life, thank God for your life, but we can't shy away from the fact that people are suffering. We know that even when things were not as bad as this, the level of poverty everywhere is high. Not to now talk of you having a government whereby the price of goods will quadruple. I never believed that. For the life of me,
in 1 year, it's not even a joke.
Yes, in 1 year, I never.
And the worst is medication. We don't even understand. Dr. DG, people can't buy drugs.
If I can be sincere with you, you see, sincerely, with profound respect to the president, it's a big disappointment. I think.
Are you saying the president is a disappointment?
Sincerely, no. If it were to be, you know, they've ethnicized everything. If it is an Igbo man now that said the president is a disappointment, they will say, oh, it's because he is supporting Peter Obi. I'm a Yoruba man, flesh and blood, 100%, undiluted, chronic one.
You did your tongue, sir.
Yes, and I'm saying it emphatically that the president is a disappointment. And I've spoken to a lot of Yoruba people that I've seen, and some of them that even expressed the only principle that I uphold is, you support bad governance or you support overrating of an individual. If you call me now to give me bill, I know they respond. I don't want to respond to your bill, so that
okay, people who supported why you're not helping them.
No, this for instance there is a man when during the 2023 election, I know a man that when they were giving the glory of the colonialists to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, when they were giving the glory of Jakonde during his performance, his tenure, Jakonde, who happens to be a performer, they were giving his glory to Tinubu. The glory of Fashola, Ambode, and even Sanwo-Olu, they are giving it to Tinubu as if these people never did anything. As if, they were just figurehead. For the sake of political correctness, maybe because he's their political godfather, somebody like Fashola kept quiet when they were giving all the glory of Lagos to Tinubu. Although I don't agree that Lagos is developed in the true sense of development. If you've gone to cities across the world, you see what development
I wanted to ask
is.
if we've gone to Rwanda backyard. Rwanda backyard.
In the true sense of it, I don't see Lagos as developed because with profound respect, I think even Nigerian airport, which is owned by the federal government, is the worst that I've ever been opportune to pass through in my entire life. When you land on Nigerian airport, you know you are in Nigeria. The fact speaks for itself. Is it the civil service? Is it the immigration? Some of them that will be looking as if they are buying and selling rice. Is it the custom? Is it the infrastructure? The heat that will welcome you? Is it the elevator? The truth speaks for itself. And if you look at Lagos itself, you see it. Don't drive on the major roads. Try and corner to one street. Even this location of your studio, move away from the main street, corner to some street. The fact speaks for itself. So I don't believe that Lagos is developed in this. If you are comparing Lagos to Jigawa, maybe Sokoto, Yobe, maybe Lagos is developed. But I believe if you are comparing Lagos in the true sense of development to other cities of the world, Lagos doesn't even come close. That said, now the president, when all this glory was being given to him and all these people kept quiet, there's a man that, if I'm having a conversation with them, he doesn't want to hear any logical reasoning. That no, what they are giving to, the mark they are giving to this man is not his mark. No, you have had the mark of Fashola, the mark of Ambode, and even as a political scientist, I can tell you that if not the effect of godfatherism, Lagos would have even moved forward. For instance, if Sanwo-Olu happens to be his own man, that is fully in charge 101%, maybe he would have performed way better. In the true sense of it. So when they are giving the glory to that kind of a man now, if he calls me and try to bill me, at the dodge because the truth speaks for itself. So for me, I think, in all honesty, I believe that the president can't do much because Nigeria has some inherent problems, and he himself has been part of the leadership class. If you Google online, you see his photo with Abacha. Somebody that has been rolling with Abacha, that he has been part of the somebody that was. But
he was said to have fought
somebody
Abacha.
That was a senator, even before 1999. Is part of the leadership class in Nigeria. Though I believe that he wouldn't have done much. For instance, in terms of our electoral system, somebody that during election you are not a banker, there's bullion van in your house. So are you surprised that they are buying votes in Edo? What do you expect? If somebody, sorry, give me 1 minute, please. If somebody came on, if somebody during campaign said we will reduce the purchasing power, increase the tax net, he said this thing, but I don't know why. That's why if I ever come to this world again, I don't want to be ignorant. I want to be educated, if possible, more than this, because this man said it. He's doing what he's saying. He said whether you vote or you don't vote, subsidy we will win and subsidy will be removed. He's doing it. He said, we will reduce the purchasing power. He's doing it. So the thing is, in Edo, there's allegation of vote buying. We saw bullion van in his house. So I believe that he would have won the election naturally, even if they didn't off IRF. I believe the people that are off IRF, they are just doing the I love you more than God approach. Because if PDP is fragmented into three divide, definitely you have given Tinubu a free win. And that's what they are doing now. If you don't know, because if PDP continues the way it's going, Labour Party continues the way it's going, if Tinubu rules and become the worst president in Nigeria, he will still win. That is the truth, because you need a political party to win. So I didn't expect much from the persona of the president, sincerely. But The truth is, I didn't expect that it would be this bad, and that's why I said it's not just a disappointment.
So this beats your
a terrible
imagination.
Disappointment,
okay.
I must say.
Okay, so but is this disappointment enough?
And I hold my place in history to say it, because in the next years, people may be researching, and you know, in Nigeria now, if you are an Hausa man, if you say, they will say, shut up. Where are you doing Buhari's time? If you are an Igbo man, they will say, obedient. No, this time, my name is Omoshola Deji. I'm a Yoruba man. Tinubu is a disappointment.
All right, so but is this disappointment that you said now enough for the presidential candidate of Labour Party to assert that Nigeria, as a 64 years old country, is one of the world's most corrupt and insecure countries in the world? And this all happening under the watch of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But that's what he said in his statement today to mark the independence. In fact, he said, we rank poorly in security and peacefulness, making us one of the most insecure nations globally. We are also ranked among the most corrupt countries, and we are noted for our disregard for the rule of law. Our nation continues its dangerous dance on the edge of a precipice. That's what he said a lot. But is this enough to call your nation these kind of names?
No, the truth is,
the pains and the woes you described. Is it enough for us to describe our country in this?
I agree with Obi, not because of anything, but while you were reading it out, I was placing what you were reading out under content analysis, and I will agree with him because of his choice of words. He used words like among, one of.
Yes.
You understand? So if you look at it, if it says one of, that means that there may be 10 corrupt countries, but Nigeria is one of. It's correct. I can tell you that as an academic. If he says one of, that means that he is correct. Then if he says
one of the most,
one of the most, of course, it's one of the most. Is correct. Then if he says among, for instance, if I say, Precious is the only presenter, that's wrong. But Precious is one of the best. If I say Precious is the best presenter, you can debate it. That what about this person? What about that person? What about this? But if I say Precious is one of the best presenters, then you'll be like, okay, Precious has been in this occupation for, I think, talk me there.
Go ahead. You know, since I do like classroom teacher,
about 20 years, about 20 years or so. So the thing is, I agree with the statement, because if you look at it, the corruption is quite evident everywhere.
Wow.
And but then I would have loved if Peter Obi move away just from making that statement, even if they won't listen, to try and profile some solutions as regards what he would have done better.
But he's been doing that in the past.
No, he shouldn't. He's been doing it, doesn't mean he should stop doing it. For instance, Atiku has been speaking about privatization of NNPCL, and when the people that were saying, "Oh, it's because he's a thief, he want to sell it, when they later agreed with him, history kind of like was in favor that, this is one of the ideas of Atiku. So for the sake of history, let it be on record that you prefer this solution, so that at the end of the day, it will just be that you are criticized. And if
he has preferred solutions so many times.
I understand.
Now, not just today.
Profiling solutions is also a way of selling yourself. If there's anybody that needs marketing now, it is the oppositions. So you can't stop selling yourself. You can never be tired of selling yourself. You understand? So if I read
but this particular president also said during election that he's not going to say expose his manifesto and his tricks, so that others may not copy it.
Well, I believe
someone said that.
No, I believe as at when he made that statement, maybe he doesn't have, and I think I think you're speaking about when he went to Chatham House or something, and he went with the Air Rufais and co and all that. Well, for me, if I'm to score that particular event, as a fair examiner over 100, I'll manage to give him 20, because I think it was a strategic maneuver which display with profound respect to the president inadequate I'm being careful with my words, but I can't find any other word. But with profound respect to inadequate intelligence, inadequate grasp of what is happening in the Nigerian polity itself. That's why you will go to an event whereby your opposition is not even present. Look at in US, Harris is present, Donald is present, they are debating. In this case, it is only you. Your opposition is not even present to fact check you. And to now imagine that it's even in a foreign land, and you go with large amount of people. You see, our leadership recruitment process is very, very flawed. As much as I wish for a great country, sometimes I wish for a better oriented citizen before wishing for a great country. Because if we have better oriented citizen, definitely we would have a great country. For instance, it will be difficult for you to come to me if I'm Edo State DG and you come to me with 10,000 naira or 20,000 naira, knowing the danger of vote buying, and the equivalent of that is about 3 naira a day. If you give somebody maybe 10 or 20, it can't be more than 3 naira a day. So for every day of inconvenience, for every day of pain, imagine the value of 5,000 naira that some people were given when the presidential election was held. How many dollar will 5,000 naira buy then? How many dollar will it buy now? So if you look at it, the value of 5,000 naira, then if you have to value it for the life of Tinubu presidency, how much were you given? So okay. I would have loved better informed, better oriented citizens. And again, I don't get tired of saying it, that it is sad, because if a tout on the street that is going to snatch ballot box, if he knows that the failure of successive government, which some of this political class has been part of, for instance, I can tell you for free that you already know the president in 2031 as you are seated. I already know the president in 2031. Nigerians already know the president. I don't want to say to 2027 because it will be easy to say, oh, maybe it will be Tinubu. In 2031, do you know why? Look at it. In the history of Nigeria, presidents do not always just emerge. For instance, it will be difficult, if not impossible, to take special grace for Anomo Sholadeji to be a president in 2031. The person that will be president is around the political circle. Is a name that you know. It is somebody that you have already been seeing. It can be Nuru Ribadu. It can be Yes on Wike, but it's somebody that you know.
Okay, so Dr. Diji, let's quickly, if you can help me in a sentence, react to what El-Rufai said about the allegation of taking about 423 billion naira, where he did say that he didn't get into political office to El-Rufai. You know, there's been an allegation of taking about 423 billion.
Give me like 3 minutes. I beg you.
I said in a sentence, so and then he said that he didn't get into politics or political position to steal money, that he can swear by the Quran that he never stole. Remember that Matewale also said he swear by the Quran that he doesn't have any relationship with Tojo Bello, who has been accusing him of.
God bless you for bringing this topic. Okay. I will just answer. I'll try and be. I'll just answer with should I say a light concept, very soft concept.
You said so I should give you 3 minutes.
Yes,
the time has started already.
Yes, so that it will resonate well with the people. You see, first, if you are in government in Nigeria at the state level, it is the degree of, to use the word stealing in quote, it is the degree of stealing that is different. But there's no way you would have been a governor or a president or even a commissioner in this country that you have not done anything wrong, that your hand is not in the cookie jar. In fact, favoritism is stealing. If we are to truly define the concept of stealing in politics and governance, Precious, you are a governor. A contract should worth 5 million naira. You gave it to Precious for 200 million naira. It is stealing. If you haven't stolen, you have aided and abetted stealing. Either because Precious is your wife, or Precious is your girlfriend, or Precious is your sister, or Precious is your in-law, or Precious is your family. That is stealing. So, and another thing, the light concept, very so that it will make it resonate with people. I discovered that if you are an aboki, the way they call our Hausa Fulani brothers, if you are an aboki that you've never come to Lagos, you have never witnessed any civilization in your life, you've never traveled abroad, those kind of aboki, if they say wallahi talai, believe them, they are saying the truth. But if you are a cosmopolitan aboki, that you've become governor, you've gone to UK, you've gone to US, you've come to Lagos, it's a lie. And I'll give you an example. when you are dealing with the abokis, whether you want to trade forex, whether you want to buy something, if you are dealing with a Lagos aboki, that aboki will tell you wallahi talai. But if you go back and cross check, you will see that what that aboki is saying is a lie. But then the thing is, of course, a lot of them, some of your callers will verify what I'm saying. Or you can send your reporters out to just do some bit of investigative journalism.
The former governor saying he'll swear by the Quran doesn't hold any water?
It doesn't hold any water to me. Because if a local aboki that have never witnessed civilization says he wants to swear by the Holy Quran, I will believe him. But all these cosmopolitan abokis, you know, if they say they want to swear by the Holy, it's just like somebody in Lagos say, Allah means to God or true to God. You know, have you not seen people that will be lying, barefaced lie? You know that this your friend is lying. You say Allah. That is how wallahi ta'ala it is for all these cosmopolitan abokis and all these our
so
leaders.
Bottom line, you don't believe?
So swearing by the Holy, I don't believe, and it's just for the want of time. What does El Rufai want to say according to that voice note? Since El Rufai left in, is it not the same El Rufai that said body bags? He's trying to claim perfection now. Does he need to do wallahi ta'ala for the issue of body bags? The truth is no. It is in the public domain, and if the government of Kaduna State can truly release the details of his administration, you see that wallahi ta'ala is fake. That since he left, I don't like when religious bigots find their way into sensitive public office.
You think he was a religious bigot?
A super religious bigot.
Oh wow!
Because since these are empirical, since he left Southern, the guy there now is a Muslim. The deputy is a Muslim. You heard the voice note as
and
a journalist.
He said it. Yes, he said it, that he wants to ensure that only Muslims have top positions in.
You are in the news every day, right? Now, which day have you heard about crisis in Southern Kaduna? Do you think that any magic has happened there? It is about when you have a leader that believes that one religion is more superior than the other and it must be so, it will reflect in the attitude of the followership. For instance, how much of impunity have you heard about herdsmen? Since the man that is in their that is their ethnic man, that is his ancestral occupation, left power, have you heard much impunity?
Yes, we have in Benue State, sir.
But you can't compare it to when Buhari was in power.
Oh, wow.
So you can't compare this crisis in Southern Kaduna. You cannot compare it to when El Rufai was there, despite the fact that the guy there now is a Muslim. The deputy is even a Muslim. So for me, when people like El Rufai says he want to swear by the Holy Quran, is it the Holy Quran that you abide by? Some of the things that you are doing, does the Holy Quran tells you to? Is that what the Holy Quran preaches that you should be doing? So, for instance, this same El Rufai that will not obey court order is this same El Rufai that will rush to court, trying to hinder the State House of Assembly from doing their legitimate business of probing how you spend public funds. So, for me, I don't take the statement of people like El Rufai serious, sincerely. I don't take it as anything important. And like I said, when an Aboki man or a northerner, a core northerner that have tasted the lifestyle of UK, that have tasted the lifestyle of US, that have tasted money, that have come to Lagos, that have mingled with the high and mighty in the society, I'm speaking from experience. If they say wallahi talai, na lie. In fact, it is when they say wallahi talai that they are lying. But if it is those abokis that have never tasted civilization, when they tell you wallahi talai, believe them.
Okay, so very quickly, Toju Bello has dared Zamfara state government that both the present and the past Matawali that politicizing insecurity in the state. Even though say security they try to catch him, say they just tried, say they no go fit catch him, that he would return to Zamfara state when he wants to return, that he have to do his bidding for peace to reign. Why has it been so impossible for us to catch this young man, Toju Bello, who by the way was banned traditionally during Matawali's administration and who has accused him several times of being his ally, as it were?
Well, first,
there is no time again. I need to open phone line, so I don't know. I'm sorry. It'd be like say I go pinch you small, then I'm not gonna give you time to talk. No vex. So if you can help us make it quick.
I'm about to say, so help me God.
So help you God, well, please. So help you God.
The thing is, this Bello Tuji, first, for me, it is saddening if people that are in position of authority, I think if when you are occupying some certain position, you should be so white as snow. You should have unblemished record. The person that should be appointed in such a position should be so that it will be so difficult for you to find any infraction against such a person. But that we will have a minister under Buhari, that evidence will come out that he is preaching in favor of terrorism, Islamization, and is crying. And that person is seated as a minister in Buhari's cabinet.
Are you talking about Issa Pantami?
Yes, the fake professor. I won't stop calling him I'm an academic, precious, for God's sake. I know what it takes to be a professor. It is only in Nigeria, but that's a topic for another day. Nigerians cherish titles and they are lazy to go all out to obtain such a title. I am an academic. I know what it takes to be a professor, and I say it with Issa Pantami has more power than me. He has connections than me. He's richer than me. But he should come forward with me for a debate on what it takes to be a professor. Make an announcement. Invite him. Go to his social media. Say one Dr. Mosholade just challenge him to a debate. Make sure you announce it and let the callers, that will be people that will be calling in that day, let them be academics. Let them be professors from across the world and Nigeria. And they should come and tell me that this Pantami is a professor. He's not a professor. In fact, it is academics teaches us that what you struggle for is what you earn. So if you go to the back and go and claim yourself a professor, you are just a disgrace to the academic world. So for the sake of record, because of some Nigerians that think, oh, he's a no, Issa Pantami is not a professor.
So let's continue, please. We don't have time
again. This guy, Matawale, it is sad that somebody is accused of being complicit in banditry and is being accused by the person that has the best of information in the state, the person that is receiving security report, the person that has access to all the ministries, the person that has all the apparatchik of state at his disposal, all the resources, the person that is in charge of appointing and dethroning traditional rulers in the state, the number one citizen of the state is accusing him of banditry, and he's saying it emphatically, and he's saying it in the media. Then you ask yourself, but Abola, why is it that did you took an oath with Matawale? Why is Matawale the only person that can be minister of state or whatever for defense? Is there no other credible Nigerians that you will still leave him there despite all these accusations, whether true or false? He's not the only person that can be in charge of defense. In fact, insecurity was worst. And you imagine the criteria for appointing him in the first place. When he was governor of Zamfara State, banditry was holding sway. Bandits were holding sway. So you look at it that, what is the criteria? You went to take English course, you score F9 parallel. They now appoint you English teacher. You ask yourself, what is the criteria for appointment? Then this Bello Tuji, I believe that it is the priority. See, Nigerian government, with profound respect to Nigerian government, they feel steady on all sectors, health, economy, look at it, education, infrastructure. Nigerian government, successive government, they always fail. But anything that is of interest to government, they don't fail. Anything that is of major interest to the government, they don't fail. Where there is no conflict of interest among the politicians, they don't fail. When it comes to looting, they don't fail. When it comes to human rights abuse, they don't fail. But when it comes to Bello Tuji, you will see that the Nigerian government that is always active is now struggling to apprehend one man. And you imagine that all these resources that you've been unleashing on end bad governance protesters,
if you see the security today,
the people that you are charging
Dr. Deji, if you see security today, including armored vehicles, including army, including police, if you see them,
paramilitary. Precious is going out to monitor protests. Armless Precious, so that can carry 25 liters of water. That can carry 25 liters of water. You bring out army, you bring out, military, you bring out armored vehicle. Precious or these hungry Nigerians are not your problem. Bello Tunji, that is your problem. You have failed to go after him. Not that you have failed to go after him, you have failed to even make, for instance, how can you apprehend Bello Tunji when people in the Senate, the House of Rep, the Obas, the chieftaincy order, they've all our policemen and using them as personal bodyguard, security. Go to social media, you see notorious cultists that doesn't hide it. You see them with 3, 4, 5 policemen. Tell me how you discourage a young boy that is just going up from not becoming a cultist when a known cultist is using
honorable.
No, leave my mic on. When a notorious cultist is using the police as bodyguard. So you can see that how will it be possible when if you see the entourage of the president, let's give it to him that okay, he's the president. If you see that of Akpabio, his entourage, the number of police, army, DSS, how will DSS be able to function when instead of allowing them to operate fully on terrorism, you will be using them to follow real and imaginary enemies. You say okay, go after protesters, go after this, go after that. You are reducing their capacity. If they ask you to run now and they put 2 bags of cement on your head, you cannot run as if you are not carrying any luggage. So the politicians themselves, the kind of democratic system we practice, the insecurity that has ravaged the land and unnecessary social status in such a way that if you don't have a DSS guiding you or a police, you have not yet arrived. It is reflecting on our capacity to tackle the banditry itself. So government should show that arresting Bello, if you can align with Kenya, rightly or wrongly, to bring Nnamdi Kanu, if you can align with Benin Republic, rightly or wrongly, to detain Sunday Igboho, are you telling me that you cannot now align with US for technology to dictate Bello Tunji? Let's be realistic with ourselves. The reason why some of these things are not tackled is because the conflict of interest. Some people in Nigeria, it is beyond coincidence that when the voice note of Easter Alekpatami was circulating, that some northern elite quickly visited Buhari. There are some people in government, and this man I think retired Navy something, they appeared on channel some time ago, that he said that he was giving some informations. The man that said he queues for Nigerian government, that he has queued for Nigerian government, that man, he's a Yoruba man. And for that the army invited and Falana went with him. You would have remembered.
Okay.
I'm struggling to remember his name. Now, you see that in Nigeria today, there are people that subscribe to some of these ideals of these guys. There are some people that still sees them as what I can call a private militia. And if you would allow me,
there's no time again.
Please. Now, the people that are doing this banditry, some of them were allegedly imported. Before the Buhari presidency, we have Boko Haram, yes, we know. But banditry was a strange word. So you see that there are some people that, why is it that, and do this research, wherever there is peaceful in Nigeria, wherever is relatively peaceful in Nigeria, when election is coming, there will be crisis. Lagos, that is relatively peaceful, suddenly they will bring up Igbo versus Yoruba, there will be, the atmosphere will be tensed. But where there is always conflict, Zamfara, where there's banditry, Yobe, Borno, all these places, it will suddenly become calm
during election.
And these people are non-state actors seeking to usurp the powers of the state, seeking to undermine the sovereignty of the state. Some are seeking an independent state or an independent country that will be governing by their own extreme Islamic ideology. So you would imagine that it is during election that there is supposed to be all-out war in that state, that no, you are furthering Western ideology. But it is when the Western ideology of democracy is about to be renewed, you won't see them again. So we have some people in government that believes in the activities of some of these extremists. But the problem is, it's now become a conflict of interest. You believe in Boko Haram, like Isa Ali Patami. But
they said that he was a young man then, and his ideologies had changed, and he no longer shared that view.
That's where you activate
Dr.
me.
Deji, we
me
need to open phone lines.
You just activated me.
Honorable, just be open your mic now.
No, you mentioned ideology. I have a lot of people listening to me. If you activate me, definitely I must respond, because there are some people listening to me. Some of them are professors, some of them are illiterate, but there are people listening to me. So you cannot ask me a question and I'll just brush over it when I'm resourceful.
I did not ask you a question.
No, ideology doesn't die quick. When an idea, it will first come like an idea, then it will become like a norm. It can gain its way into culture, but once it becomes an ideology doesn't die quick. And you can do a bit of research on it. If there is an ideology and 3 people, all the people were executed, if it remains one person, just one, that person is old enough to be able to process his left from right, that one person will resurrect the ideology. So fundamentalism is an ideology. Just as it will be difficult for some of the people listening to us that they grew up in a Christian home, maybe from Roman Catholic and all that, for them to change, because that is what they've been all their life. So there's an ideology perspective to this thing. And if you know that if Boko Haram eventually succeed, they will not appoint you as the leader of the country. In fact, you will not be appointed a minister. So there will not be a conflict of interest that you believe in this thing, but then if it sails through, definitely you will not hold any major position when it sails through. That is what happens during Patami's time. But in the true sense of it, if you read more about ideology, if you give me time, if you can give me time, like 10 minutes,
there is no time. No,
I can speak deep about ideology. Ideology doesn't die like that. Once something moves into an ideology, for instance, they are making this Biafra thing now an ideology, in the sense that generations have been seeing that they are being cheated, and some of them are still seeing some of this cheating till date. So over time, something that becomes just like an action, a movement, have become an ideology.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Deji. Thank you so much. Lagos phone lines are open. Let's begin to take your thoughts and reactions on the conversations raised tonight. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. And 0817 175 6338. 0817 175 6338. That is the WhatsApp line. In case you're just joining us, let me run through the hot topics we've had this evening. We told you that police fire tear gas at protesters in Abuja, and then the NARV said, no, we did not attack protesters, so we just tried to stop people from looting. Okay, we acted proactively to stop people from looting. Ondo youth storm Akure streets, demand change in economy, but Cross River State Akwa Ibom youths shun protests. They say they do. They wash their hands, come out like Pontius Pilate. And then we'll move to other stories. At 64, Nigeria's world most corrupt, insecure country under Tinubu's watch. Peter Obi says so in his independent message. Terrorist leader Torji Bello gives conditions for peace in Zamfara state. I also did tell you that a 200 naira bribe seeking policeman, inspector reportedly stabs man to death because of 200 naira bribe. Sad. And then people have been lamenting about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's Independence Day speech, and says that, he's begging Nigerians to manage and be patient. Why? He buys new presidential jets and, lives in affluence. That's what they say. I also told you that El Rufai says, I'm ready to swear by the Quran that I didn't steal Kaduna funds. I'm not a thief at all. And hey, there's also the statement or the issue about Iran planning a missile attack against Israel. And US stated that. Lagos, these are the hot topics. If I tell Dr. Deji to chime in on this now, it will take like 5 hours. So let me just rest my case. 4 lines are open. 0700 903 903 903. Hello, good evening and welcome. Hello. Hello, good evening. Oh dear, I lost you. All right. You can also call the WhatsApp line 0817-175-6338. That is the WhatsApp line. 0817-175-6338. Let's take a quick break. I'll be right back to begin to take your thoughts and reactions. Stay with us.
Are you aware that Iruka Online Limited installed and designed a 100,000 capacity church building? Oh yeah, we are the sole distributors of global leading brands all over the world, such as Wafday Line Array, speakers and digital amplifiers, Preseno's digital mixers and studio equipment, Coswell workstations and keyboards, Fender guitars, Mapex drums, Ashdown bass combos, just to mention but a few. We offer flexible payment plan handled by our financial department with 24/7 customer care support system. You can visit our website on www.iruka.com to avoid buying fake products. You can also visit our showroom at number 36 Lagos International Airport Road beside Golden Tulip Hotel.
The Jendol Annual Debate Championship is back and it's bigger than ever. Get ready to showcase your eloquence and compete with the best debaters in the Lagos State Public Senior Secondary Schools for a chance to win $500,000 naira for yourself, 100,000 naira cash for your teacher, and other amazing prizes for your school. Let your school administrator register you for the 2024 edition of the Jendol Annual Debate Championship for free today. To register your school and your top 3 students, visit www.jendoldebatechampionship.com.ng. Send a 2-minute video of each of your students proposing or opposing the motion. Remote work is more productive than on-site work in a megacity like Lagos. Registration opens on Monday 9th September 2024 and closes on Wednesday 9th October 2024. For more details, see posters and flyers available at Jendol Superstores located around Alimosho, Ifako Ijaye, Agege, Ikeja, and Ikorodu local government areas. The Jendol Annual Debate Championship is proudly sponsored by Jendol Superstores. Shop with a smile.
Lagos, you're welcome back. Still 90.3 Voice of the People FM phone lines are still open. Let's begin to take your thoughts and reactions on the conversation raised tonight. Hello, good evening and welcome. Hello. Sir?
Good evening.
Yes, welcome, sir.
Time calling.
Welcome. You say it's your first time?
Yeah, it's my time.
Hey, oh, you're saying it like that. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
This is Jude. I'm calling from Muchi.
You're welcome, Jude. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Precious.
Sir?
I'm very, very grateful for that your case. That is super. Honestly speaking, we in Nigeria, we are the problem of ourselves. I never forget when this campaign was going on and all that this man was saying. One of the things he did is that he will start from where the former president stopped. And they will see people will still troop in. They will not even ask, what does this president do? What does he do for Nigeria that will cause somebody to say that I will start from here will stop? Precious.
Sir?
I just pray that people will continue to raise people like this man presently, like Mr. Darrington and the and so that those that will continue to say the truth about this nation. I believe that one day God will vindicate us, but we need to stand up because we, the masses, we are not helping the issue. There are many things because of tribalism and religion. We are missing what is supposed to do. We are missing what we're supposed to do. That is just the place. Look at what happened at the and at the end of the day, somebody will keep complaining, saying hungry, this and the other one. Why they are not doing the right thing? I pray that God will help us to do the right thing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right. So let me go to YouTube, WhatsApp now. Then I go to YouTube messages. I begin with YouTube. So WhatsApp with the message from His Royal Highness BC Nwoko, where he says, it's unfortunate that Nigeria at 64, what are we celebrating today is massive hunger created by insecurity and ill removal of fuel subsidy by the president. Now, it's make me no ask on I'm not gonna celebrate. I just gingerly continue my show as I did drum because I know see if I find on a trouble, ask on why your reason for celebrating or whether you're celebrating a wahala. Now I don't find with that. And he said any government that came to power in deceit and without proper planning will never make any tangible progress. Rather, they would only be after their selfish interest and pockets, while the country continues to be in a total mess, and decay. Precious, this is exactly what we are witnessing today in Nigeria, and I'm wondering where this ugly situation is taking us to. His Royal Highness BC Nwoko says, Happy New Month to you. You know, just want to talk happy independence. You're welcome. Hello, good evening. Sir, good evening, sir.
Thank you. This is the chief from Jakande.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. Like the other person that has just called now said, we are our own problem. If you look at what happened in Edo, where they give people 10,000, 5,000, and they go for the same APC. Even though the election was late, no doubt about it. But some people still voted for that APC. As Nigeria is saying now, we are heading for one party state. And a tribal contest again in 2027. Nobody will challenge him. He is winning. He is going. And this suffering will know we stay from now the 2031. So there's no doubt about it that Nigeria is heading for more problems, and we have not even seen anything. It's just 1.5 years, and everybody is crying, and it will still be there in the next 6 or 7 years from now. So to me, we are just going. We are just starting. The problem is just starting. I like your host,
my analyst.
So that is in the studio.
Yes.
The analyst there, he has just made a point that, in fact, a true Nigerian that is not tribalistic and begin to maybe share he's our man, and so on and so forth. So, thank you very much. This is my first time call.
Let me knock you what I knocked the other person now, Make you for no loss, Thank you. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. All right. So I go straight to some more messages. We have quite a number of the messages. And this is coming from Chika Bender from Trade Fair. He says, Tinubu's independent remembrance speech was nothing to write home about and lacks empathy. If he thinks that conveying youth's national confab can solve these clear misrule policies by the government or his government, then I make bold to tell him that he's just going to be wasting taxpayers' money, which cannot be implemented. He made mention that the dams are going through an integrity test. I hope we will not come here next year lamenting about the same thing. Worse still, after 16 months in power, it's only 64 CNG buses the president can provide for over 200 million Nigerians. But National Assembly can go home with almost 300 SUV worth of 160 million each. No, you know, in the House of Rep, their SUV price is here. You know, here, senators their own. Do you understand? As I make I remind you, Good. Hello, good evening and welcome. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Sir, welcome.
Good evening, Precious.
Yes, please, welcome. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. My name is Boyesin and I am calling from Afromedia.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you. Please, I have a question for your guest. He's been talking all this while. I just want to know, how does he rate President Tinubu's administration before the public? And today, again, his speech so far, what does he understand about? What does he make out from the speech he gave today? Is it different from what we have been saying before? I just want him to react on this. And again, why must this present administration or this present government send people out to go and send police and army to go and brutalize the people who are just doing a mere protest, which he benefited from? So I want him to answer this question. Thank you very much.
Okay. You don't go ask Dr. Digi plenty question, or how say you get pen and paper. But Dr.
Let him just go on and answer.
No, you cannot go on because others want to call in too now.
No,
all right, I appreciate you.
I'll answer with just two things.
All right,
first, it seems he joined late because some of the questions I've already answered them. Then he should either go to VOP TV on YouTube, go and reverse the video. I've already answered some of them, you know. So on a day like this, that people will want to call it.
So, but then just on a ratio of 10, how would you rate the President Tinubu's administration?
See, it's difficult for me to just say on a ratio of 10 without putting some things in context. If I'm to be sincere with you, it is not easy for me to just say it, because if I say that, okay, this mark, I would like to give the reason why I give the mark.
I just hurry up now. There's no time. If you can help us.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
Yes, sir.
Sincerely, I won't lie to you. If I'm to be, if I want to be lenient, then I want to be kind. I want to be generous.
Assuming you don't want to be generous, you just want to state what is happening the way it is.
No, it's good to be generous.
Let's assume that you're not generous.
No, pressure. It's good to be generous.
Okay.
If my script
because
is
freely was he giving and freely will he give?
It's good to be generous.
Okay.
But if I'm to be generous, on a more serious note, if I'm to be generous, with my generosity, I'll just give Tinubu 3 over 10. And that 3,
you're generous and you're giving 3. When you when you can't balance, you go give 0.
That 3 it is out of generosity that I'm being generous. I'm in a good mood as an examiner, and that's why I said if I score him, it won't really you won't really understand until I dig deep into it. If I dig deep into it, you know that Deji is truly generous. You are a generous guy. For him to even give him that 3.
Then how about his speech? Is he any different from what he said? The speeches is made all the times.
That's why I said the man should go to VOP YouTube, because you've asked me this question earlier.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
And I've answered it. The one that I'm yet to answer that came to my mind is that of awarding Akpabio, GCON or something like that. So if there's time, I can touch on that.
Is he not deserving of him? He's a third in command in Nigeria.
Okay, can I respond to that?
Oh yeah, very quickly.
Okay, good. Let's reason. Let's on our intelligence now, right? And you look at it that in a democracy, what does the legislature exist for? The legislature exists mainly for 2 purposes: separation of power, checks and balances. So if democracy is adjudged as the best form of government, that we have fascism, totalitarianism, communism, different forms of government, and democracy is adjudged as the best. Because why? 2 reasons. Power evolves from the people that you want to lead us. Okay, we'll be the one to select who will lead us. 1, I'm racing now.
Okay.
2, for the principle of separation of power and checks and balances, that there should be a legislature, which is the house of the people, that everywhere in Nigeria, because all of us cannot go to the National Assembly. Okay, let us elect people that would go and represent us. And that is why you see that even in the United States, if a legislature want to vote on a bill, he will go up and set up like a survey in his constituency for people to vote. If people vote against his own wish, he will go and vote according to the people's wish. If not, he will lose the next election. So if Nigeria is the way it is now, you can't remove the failure of adequate checks and balance. If in an economy that you are judged as poor, if you can go and buy jet, go and buy Escalade, you know, your wife was awarded millions of naira for foreign trips. It can go on and on and on and on. You see that the failure, if supplementary budget, according to Buba Galadima, I was shocked when he said on TV recently, just some days ago, that the Senate under Akpabio passed supplementary budget within 5 minutes. Even if you are to use
but
AI.
we were here when it happened now, Dr. Deji now. Remember, in fact, when that supplementary budget bill announcement was made, Peter Obi lamented that means we'll be using 4 budgets. They said, no, it's not 4 budgets. They said that they are only looking at the, some elements from the last year's budget and last year's supplementary budget, that they are not doing any other 4th one. But then when it was called back in the House, it was with the speed of light.
The Senate has to look at the budget of each ministry, right? Even if you are to go into what we call committee of the whole. Oh, precious. There's no time.
So we've heard it before. We've heard it before that for any budget to be properly dissected, it should take. Okay.
If you are to go into committee of the whole, you cannot use 5 minutes. Even if you want to use AI, because AI is not of Nigerian origin, and you are dealing with figures here. Even AI will use more than 5
and
minutes.
The peculiarity of Nigerian
situation. So if you pass a supplementary budget within 5 minutes, Nigeria is the way it is now, based on inadequate checks and balances. See, in a functional democracy, there shouldn't be protest, because the people protesting are doing the work of those in the National Assembly.
So are you saying that all of these disqualifies the Senate President of the GCON?
See, the thing is, your government is still fresh. You've just used 1 year and some months. What happens to the Independence Day of next year? What happens to your last Independence Day, even during your first term? For instance, if you give Akpabio GCON now, what will you give him next year? Will you resign and give him GCFR? Will you resign your position and give him the GCFR? On what basis? So, because if we look at the real performance,
but Akpabio is a loyalist. He said it, and he said it before, that anything the president brings to the National Assembly, they are going to accent it.
That they are going to,
even when they were denying that there is no plan to buy national presidential jets, but that the president raises the issue that they won't hesitate to accent it.
Akpabio have committed serious offenses that he is qualified for recall if Nigeria were to be practicing a functional democracy. The statement alone of sending prayer, Akpabio, I've never read in history that he is a pastor. You turn yourself into prayer warrior, that you are sending prayer to people's email box, that you collect email and you are sending prayer. So money now is prayer. Precious, I'm waiting for email
Dr.
from
you. Let's go back to the phone line.
I feel about, please people, go and polythink. Go to my YouTube and subscribe. VOP will give me question, they won't give me time. Go to YouTube, you see Polythink with Omosholadeji. Polythink is POLITHINK. Polythink, POLITHINK with Omosholadeji. Subscribe there. Maybe the Polythink.
So make we leave them. Okay, all right. I go back to my messages. I salute. No. There's no time. I salute all the my gallant people in the house. How was your morale for this beautiful evening? How my morale day? Motivation messages. Never take too much care of someone's because. Well, I apologize. I can't read all of this. Yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you. And then he says, "Good evening to my radio station. Thank you for the good job. But please, Dr. G should be summarizing because of time." And then good evening, my sister. This analysis will damage VOP. Maybe he's from APC. He didn't come out for protest and he's blaming Shawore and others. Gideon sent in that. What analysis are you really talking about? And then this here says, it's heartbreaking to hear such despair that these cries for help highlights the urgent need for government action and support to address the economic struggles many are facing. Voices like these must be heard for real change to happen. Protest economic crisis. Thanks. Emma from Ikpaja sent a message. And then this here says, that is Ralph from Satellite Town says, who in Nigeria ever believed that we will buy a liter of petrol for 950, a bag of rice for 105,000 naira, and you think that things will ever get better? Like how? You can see that this government has finally succeeded in dividing our citizens to the extent that we can't come together with one voice. Tinubu's government does not care about the good of the people. You said a lot. I appreciate you. Hello, good evening to you and welcome. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, welcome, sir. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good evening.
Yes, you're welcome. Go ahead, please. Your name is what?
I greet your
Azubike, go ahead, please. Thank you.
I want to appreciate your guest. Honestly, I'm happy with whatever he has said about Nigeria. But my own contribution this evening is that I think the best solution to the pressures for Nigeria is to restructure this country.
Is what? To restructure?
To restructure Nigeria. Restructure it. That's the best way. Honestly, if you ask me, we should borrow from our the United Kingdom, the way they are. So, the best way for Nigeria. If we need to make progress, you look at station, GOP, we have IFM, AIT, channel, it with their own unique way. That is where Nigeria needs to function. The West, East, North, let us manage ourselves at our own pace and look in our own way. We take on Nigeria. That is my own contribution.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. All right, I'll go back to my messages now because my message box is very full. This here says, Adeyemi Kamara from Satellite Town says, when a man wants to present himself as the saint in politics, he should definitely tell lies to buttress his point. Peter Obi is a veritable liar. Even the sincere ones would admit. The obedient went too far with this guy. It's so very difficult to retract their steps, so they prefer to even sync with him. What do you expect someone that can't account for small money obedient supporters donated for the campaign? All right, so that's your thoughts. All right, Omoshola DJ, happy new month. Babiji from Moshola says, please, I also wish you happy independence. About the protest, as Dr. G said, we're all supposed to join hands together and embark on the protest against what is going on. But a lot of factors wouldn't let Nigerians. This administration is not listening government to its citizens as one. They don't mind killing Nigerians to just for their interests. That's what he said too. All those that protested in the former were charged with treason, felony. That's what he said 3. So summary, Nigerians are passing through hell of hardship and hunger, insecurity, etc., and we're afraid to protest against them for bad governance and high taxations. But unfortunately, that's where we are. Faulkner from the US says, good evening, Precious and Dr. Deji. Well done to Dr. Deji. You spoke my language. When I tell people Lagos is overpriced and it's pointless, people think I am crazy. Lagos is far from developed country. Thailand, 5th world country, is 1 million better than Nigeria. And they are self-sufficient with food, infrastructure, with low standards of living. The worst hotel in Thailand is the best hotel in Nigeria. That's what he says. Say thank you, Dr. Digi. Oops. Okay. Emperor says, we're not independent yet. Democracy is not in place yet, because if we have seen democracy, characters like, he took the power. Okay. Let me go and take my call. Emperor, you know, sir, I'm not going to read that message you write, Abby. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Precious. My name is
Zacchaeus. Welcome. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, what I want to say is that, you know, my problem with people, we easily get something. We easily to be deceived. My problem with Nigeria, with the people, the problem is from we people. Okay, for instance now, I was not even expecting what happened is going to happen. Because with this current situation, I did not expect that APC would see this election. I was very surprised and I was very shocked. So the problem is from we people, it's not from the government. So for the protest that is going on, I will advise me to take the protest. We are just, as in, I don't even know how we take it. We will do this protest whether the way we are doing it like this, they won't respond. They won't respond actually. So our advice, I think, is just this, the way we are doing this protest, so there will not, nobody will listen to us. We will do it 10 days and nobody will listen to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. All right. Ajiri from Bariga says, Precious, I beg to differ with your guests about protests revolving around one man. The South African fight was centered around Mandela. You say the President, Senate and House of Rep has failed. So what do? We can't sit in one comfort zone or our comfort zone and pick holes in a protest led by Shawari. Where is Atiku? Where is Obi? The one that Tinubu robbed from INEC and the judiciary, and that's what you said, though. So and your guests still complain about the protest. I voted for Obi in the last election, but I'm looking at voting for Shawore in the next election.
But I want to correct something, Precious. When people say sit in your comfort zone, I think the people are speaking as if they are Americans or they are Jamaicans or Singaporeans. You know, it is easy for you to go out in a protest and you should be shouting, "Oh, revolution now!" And you know, one of the major known faces there is Showore. I am speaking on a national radio in a government that arrests journalists. in a government that charge people for treason, and I'm speaking, not minding who sucks is God. If he easy, can't do one. Which one is more easy? To go to the protest that nobody knows me. Do you know what it means to speak on a censored radio, not minding who sucks is God? Drop your number. I will beg Precious to give you airtime. Come and speak. Show your face. May all your families, may everybody see your face. If it's easy like that. So I think Nigerians get it wrongly, and they don't know that activism comes in different ways. This one that I'm doing, is it not protest? This one that I'm doing, is it not activism? Which one is more difficult for me to join them at Ikeja or Jota, or this one that I'm doing? If it's easy in a Nigeria of today, whereby you are even from the president ethnic tribe, whereby some people will even be calling you bastard, if it's easy, can't run them. That's what I can say.
Thank you. All right. Good evening. El Rufai should swear with Amadioha, Songo, Ogun, and he should forget about Quran.
I agree.
That is when we'll take him serious. That's what you said. Precious, please help us manage time with your guests, and he should always stick it. No. This is coming from Olu from Badagry. JJ, I would ask you, we'd invite you. Not be your fault. Good evening, Precious and guests. Your guest is he is saying the fact. Kudos. He never supports president policy because he is Yoruba man, and he says the Commodore Oluwumi retired of Nigerian Naval.
Yes, God bless that man. Yes, yes. God
he said
bless.
That's the person you're talking about. Sunday Tadunjaye.
Yeah, God bless you, Sunday.
That's what he said. Okay. Good evening, Dr. Deji. God bless you, sir. Thank you. You're a Yoruba man, and you're saying the truth. If it's Barrister Darlington, people will say he's being biased about the president. Tell me one thing in his address this morning about his address that holds water. Neka from Surulere sent in that. And then this here says, Dozie Augustine says, Dr. Moshola, about politicians swearing in with religious symbols to give an impression of truthfulness. Know that we are not deceived. We have seen live a politician pretending, lying in public courts, and that he has spinal cord issue, only to get into his house and start doing religious physical acrobatics. You know that case of the accountant, former accountant, because he sit down, I bend down, do all right. And then Kingsley Akiniro from Yaba says, good evening to you and your guests. Nigeria at 64, I go with Dr. Deji. President Tinubu has failed Nigerians. For Erofai, he is a complete metropolitan Abuki Ahosa man. Let him swear with Amadioha and see if he will live, he will be alive the next minute. God bless you for the great job you're doing. Thank you so much. God bless you too. Precious, when someone tells you that, give me your votes. If I enter, I will reduce pump price. But when he eventually sworn in, the first thing he did was increase the pump price over 600%. Precious, ask your guests, what do they call this kind of thing in law? He's not a lawyer. Mayor from Ekoso asked that question. First time in history, Nigeria celebrates our independent bank and network services no send any message to their customers. Where you catch it from what you say that banks, did your bank not send the independent message this year? You don't read it. Okay. And this says, good evening, Dr. Deji. We are going to do what are we going to do to get things right? Our rulers, they listen well, but they don't do what we expect them to do. Uju from Moshe says so. She seems confused. What do we do? The weapon Nigerian politicians use to retain power is to make knowledge scarce. Nigerian politicians use religion to manipulate uneducated citizens. So sorry for myself for being a Nigerian. So Samuel from Yenejibo sent in that. And most of the terrorists, says, just to let you know that the Iran sent about 200 missiles into Israel, and of which were neutralized by Israel's defense system. No death or injury. And he says most of the terrorists are in line with politicians. They are used as arm wings to the politicians that is in government. That's why the government find it difficult to deal with them. That's what you're saying. Oh wow, really? And then Lord Lucan from Ireland says, El Rufai swear with Ogun, the god of iron. They all swear with holy books, still dip their hands into the national cookie jar. What a country! And there truly was a country. That's what you said. All right, I appreciate you. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Hello, good evening.
Sir, you're welcome, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Pretty precious.
Sir?
How are you?
I can't say I'm fine, but just go ahead. Don't let me answer sincerely. Go ahead.
You are not enjoying independence.
I cannot enjoy it.
And in fact, I'm a lucky since over more than a year now. I've been calling. I am not even to get a show. I don't know what I've done to you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Big Prince calling.
You're welcome. What's your name, sir?
Prince, Big Prince. I'm calling from VI.
All right, Prince, you're welcome. Go ahead, please.
Pretty precious. The issue there, I just want to say thanks to your guest today. He's a good man, a born Yoruba. In fact, he's a good man indeed. So I'm saying kudos to him for what he's saying, his analysis and all of the things he's saying is accurate. Actually, what I want to say today is that when I sit down to listen to our president talking to us today, they thing purge my belly. How can it be that those people that have dots on their conduct?
Okay, so I'm going to let you go. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I wish I can let you finish, but that's all back is making, distorting the conversation. And I always say that when you call us, please try as much as possible to turn off the volume of your radio set. Okay, so I go to YouTube now where I have lots of reactions. And I begin with the chilled power says Nigerians are resting in fixing Nigeria and not God. And then Ifeanyi Victor says, good evening, precious. Tinubu's government doesn't have anything to offer. Let's stop deceiving ourselves until the youth are ready to take back their country. Ifeanyi from Ilupeju. Confidence Ikuma says, good evening, precious. And Dr. Deji, Nigerian does not need prayers. What we need is the right people. Emperor from Ikeja sent in that. Chilled power. Okay, I see you. Henry Igwe says, while other countries are working to make their countries better on daily basis, and Nigerians are still calling for prayers. Oops. Okay. Blessing says 3/10. Very generous. So it should have been 0/10. That's what she says. And Ken Ezeke says, I'm really pissed off that I was the only one. It was only me wearing the Unity fabric today. You know where you should be, Dr. DG. Okay. Peter Naman, it says, good evening, Madam Precious. Please let's continue praying for Nigeria. It is well for Nigeria. Sapi from Oshodi. And Ken Ezeke is helping you market and telling people that you go live on your YouTube every day.
God bless you.
Lord Lucan says 3/10. He's too generous. Emeka Weke says Mr. DG is also on TikTok. Mike Madot, let's have more of him in the studio. He's here. I'm not letting him go. I'm going to hold him down. Okay. Olu says, good evening, precious Dr. DJ. There's no headway with what's going on in this government. Nigerians, emafi, omi, lofun, odumeji. Come and tell me what it means.
I recommend the Yoruba man for you.
Are you serious?
So Yoruba men start toasting Precious. So
I beg you. Chuk Anna says, Precious, your guest should have been giving more time. I was really enjoying the time with him. I clap for him.
You see what I'm saying?
You be lecturer now.
That person should go and polythink.
You know say be lecturer. They break and they start with definition of words. You go first define the key terms and then before you begin to answer your questions.
It's just something that I'm resourceful in and I speak with my conscience. And to the glory of God, I've been able to live in different places among people that are not even Nigerians. So you cannot come to me and say, oh, because a Yoruba man is in power, I have to bury my intelligence, I have to bury my knowledge just because I want to support one man. And no, it doesn't speak well to me. So I will say something that if in the next 100 years, Nigeria can develop or either collapse. If it develops, that my great-grandchildren can watch and they'll be like, oh, this was my great-grandfather. It was part of the voice of reasoning. And if Nigeria, God forbid, collapse, if they watch my video, they'll be like, oh, my great-grandfather was part of the voice of reasoning. It's just that I wasn't listening to. So conscience is more important to me than defending what is illogical. I'm not Sheyi now. I'm not wearing Richard Milley.
Oh,
right. So
okay. Let me go back. Let me go back to my messages. Okay, Chukum.
If I live here now, if I enter a filling station, is there a separate market for Yoruba man? Let's be sincere with ourselves. if insecurity comes, is there a separate place for me being a Yoruba man? It is just, in fact, it saddens me if people appreciate me for speaking this way because, that a Yoruba man can speak this way. It shows the level at which this country has been bastardized. That what I've just said, the normal, usual thing that any reasonable person can say. If you promise me renewed hope, and you said, that means you hold for you hold naira, calm down, we'll bring it down. And you get there and you bring it up. And I've said it before that some people, sadly, if your wife promised you that, dear, if you get home, I would have made semo. If that woman failed to make semo, you'll be up in flames. If you pay your child school fees and that child carries maybe 28th position, you will rebook that child. But successively, under PDP, under APC, even if Labour Party were to have been in place, I will include them, politicians have been failing you. But
the Labour Party politicians have failed them too. Most of them have decamped. They're in National Assembly and they didn't do much.
But you choose not to criticize that politician. Are you being fair to your wife and children? I still say it. And like I said, if you know what is going on in governance, the way governance in Nigeria is being run, if it's easy, come to studio, come talk. And I still say it, and I insist that if I'm to score Bodabola, if I'm to score him as a fair examiner, fear that I want to be generous, I'll score him 3. That I want to be generous.
But
if you will give me time, I'll go into.
But if you
didn't give me time of why I scored him 3.
Okay, but if you weren't generous, what would you have scored him? If you just wanted to be normal, like wanted to be.
If I'm not generous,
state the facts.
If I'm not generous,
if you wanted to state the facts,
1 or 0.5. And
1 or 0.5.
Yes. For instance, yesterday
0.5.
Yesterday, while I was about to do a video and there was all this protest issue, so I was now thinking, just having my own quiet time that should Nigerians really protest? The president has said you guys should calm down. Then I went to download the renewed hope agenda. See, I don't speak in vacuum. You may not like me, but when you are coming to me, come with great intelligence. That's why I watched this guy, Felix Moka, on TV just some days ago, the APC secretary. Maybe it's because maybe people don't know me much yet, but bring me with Felix Moka. Let me give him some facts and figures. Let me see these things. When you, to use the word of my friend, but with the fire steady, I haven't met him before, I just call him my friend, but with the fire steady, Wiki. If he didn't day, he didn't day. If he day, he day. So if the country is the way it is, I'm sorry, but Abola, I download that renewed hope agenda and I was looking at it one by one. Security, fail. Economy, fail. Education, don't tell me about loan, because I will go into the analysis of it as an academic. Fail. So that I'm generous, maybe because I'm generous, that's why we score him 3. But if people disagree, if you are a supporter of the president and you so much believe in his ideas and you disagree, come forward. It will be an interesting debate. I love debate as an academic. I so much love debate. So I would have loved if somebody is saying, no, I believe the president should be scored 9. Come forward, let's have a debate. I don't hate the president. No. It takes a special grace for you to be president of a country. Even if you steal it, snatch it and run away with it. It takes a special grace to be the president of a country. It's not easy. So I don't have any. Today I've spoken against Obi, I've spoken against Showore, I've spoken against Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I don't like anybody, I don't hate anybody. I used to say it on my page. I'm that political scientist that you won't like or hate, because if I'm speaking now, you will like me. The next minute you will hate me. The next minute you will like me again. The next minute you are hating me. But then I remain your sure plug on politics and happenings in the polity. If he didn't day,
it didn't day. All right, so somebody did ask a question. That's Maggie from Moshede. It says what Dr. G has said just explained so far so much that it makes me cry and actually make me ask, how can Nigerians get out of this pain and shame? Well, I just wish you well, and I wish you well too. But how do you think Nigerians can, things can get better? You say light. You say the tunnel gets plenty corners.
Because you are a very intelligent journalist. Your question comes very simple, but then you won't give me time. That's the thing.
Time is gone already. Let's leave it and close shop. Because I don't want to look for your trouble.
The way Nigeria can be better.
We have just 1 minute left before we end the show.
Okay, the way Nigeria can be better is, you see, when they arrest end bad governance protesters, dissenting voices or voices of reasoning, when there's another protest, if you stay indoor, definitely they've won. When there's an election, like I said, Edo, sometimes the power that can be spread will come to one man, one community, or one society. Just imagine that, for instance, Edo, a state like Edo, had the opportunity to have reset Nigeria. If they conduct election in Imo State, they conduct election in Bayelsa State, they conduct election in Edo State, the upcoming Ondo State, and the party of the president was scoring 13% in all these states, and they say why? And they say no, the president is not governing right, the hardship in the country is too much. I can bet you that the president will begin to sit tight. But I was surprised when APC was declared winner in Edo, and they were saying that it's because Edo people resonate with the policies of the president. Who will resonate with such policy? Which policy?
So how do we get out of this? What's the possibility?
Is to be politically active.
So we must be involved. People should stop being spectators.
See, the more you are not involved,
the more they do what they do.
In fact, they don't even want you to be. For instance, there are some people that are politicians now. They won't like me. Some of them will say, "Who is this Omoshola Deji?"
So they spoil their own
truth. But when all of you focus on BB Naija, they like it too. When Bobrisky is fighting VDM,
all right, thank you.
So as much as you are following BB Naija, following Bobrisky, please be interested in politics too, because politics remain what? A ubiquitous and a contagious phenomenon. Should I explain it? You take me some
No, explain time. That time don't go. Dr. Deji, appreciate you. Please, you people should go follow him. Polythink with him on YouTube at Polythink with Omoshola Deji.
Polythink is spelled
Polithink.
Polythink with Omoshola Deji. Subscribe to my channel. Turn on the notification button. We keep it real. Let's make it happen.
All right. My name is Precious Inyi. I'm on YouTube too. Sometimes I go drop my real thoughts there on YouTube. Today I went out and I went to cover the protest. So you should see some of the things I had to see on the protest. If you go watch those videos on the protest, it's on YouTube at Precious Inyi TV. I was there live at the protest ground. In fact, Dr. Deji, I walk out from Awolowo Road reach or just I don't know say I still strong like that. I still say old age may not affect me.
No,
I praise myself small. So it's at Precious Inyi TV on YouTube. Precious ENYI TV on YouTube. You know that Enyi means friend.
Should I give that?
And I love to be your friend. Don't give it. And I love to be your friend. And whatever you do, please ensure you protect your mental health. It's very important. Good night, Lagos, Nigeria.